everyone, welcome back to the Izzy and Alex show. Today, well, if you're an OG fan, right, you know that we love Strictly. And
Oh,
we've
absolutely.
absolutely, yeah. And we've spoken about it a lot on the many podcasts that we've done. I feel like we've done 3.
Yeah, 3.
This is the relevant one, so like don't listen to the others, listen to this one.
TV Slags had its moments. Like, I actually think TV Slags is if you're gonna listen to any of the other ones and not take our advice, but actually, to be fair, Pink Friday, we changed all the names. So, like, our basically
Yeah,
season 1, it was called Pink Friday, but, like,
inside knowledge.
that's this show, so you can still like, these are still out. But, like, the TV Slags one, I think if you're gonna not take our advice and, like, not listen to any back, like, listen to
It was
TV
good
Slags.
to be fair. And our first ever episode of any like podcast we've done of TV Slags
Yeah.
was about Strictly. It was about the final, and I remember recording that like in my room at uni. Like it's like
Yeah.
yesterday.
We did that in person. Well, what year was that? 2019 vinyl, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Nah,
what
that
time?
would be like 3 years ago now.
We're getting old.
Like this December,
When
that's 3 years ago.
we were 20.
Fuck. Yeah, we actually were. Oh my god.
God,
We're losing our youth.
we are. We'll find our grey hair in a minute.
God no. Okay, it died, Babs. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't want grey hair. No offense if you have
No.
grey hair.
I'd rather get bald than have grey hair. Like, no, I'd rather
Oh,
get grey hair than go bald. Like, if I start getting a receding hairline, which I actually think I already am,
no,
then
you've got loads of hair. I don't think you'd ever go bald.
well, if I do, I'm going straight to Turkey, Babs.
Why,
Straight on that plane to Turkey.
why Turkey?
That's where they get their fucking air transplants, Babs.
Is it? Is that the only
Yeah,
place you can get one?
nah, you just get on the cheap, Babs. You can get it in the UK, but I think they just do it on the cheap in Turkey.
The tube?
They like take your ass hair and make it on your head. I actually think they do.
Well, when they get it, I thought they get it from like wigs or like
Nah. They're like proper good ones. They're like from
donations.
nah.
Oh,
The good ones are like from your ass hair. If I ever get it done, I'll document it and I'll tell you all about it.
oh, interesting. Yeah, document it. That'll be on our episode, our next.
If I go bald, I'm not just gonna get it for the sake of it.
Oh my
Just
god.
put my ass hair on my head.
Anyway, Strictly. Now time for Strictly. Now time for
So
showdowns.
sensitive. If you remember that, then you're literally
An OG.
you should just literally like be on this podcast
Yeah.
because if you remember that.
Applications are
Appli-
open.
Applications are open. Just like literally, if you remember that, you're an OG.
Mm, that was a classic. Now time for Strictly.
So now time for Strictly.
Now show time for show dances. Well, there won't be show dances yet.
Yeah.
Dances. I am going northern.
Oh my god, look at you.
I know. That's terrible though, because everyone's gonna be like, you're a fake northerner. You're from
Yeah, you look are. But
I
I
know.
think how long until you're not fake? Like I think 10 years. If you live somewhere 10 years.
I could be there 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Anyway,
Strictly. So today we're gonna be ranking who we think is gonna come in which place in this year's Strictly, because the lineup has been announced and it's an interesting lineup, I think.
yeah, like it started off, I'm like, oh my god, this could be the strongest in years. And
Mm,
then as it went on, I was like, getting a bit weaker. Like I don't know all of them. And then towards the end, it's like getting better again. So I think it's really mixed.
mm,
But if you think about last year, I had no idea who Rose was. I had no idea who John was, and I had
yeah.
a vague idea who AJ was, and they ended up being my 3 favorite, and the 3 favorite in the final, and I love them now. So it does not necessarily like it does piss me off when people say who because like sometimes your favorites are like you need to remember in the past like your favorites who you're rooting for at the end you might have even heard of, and that is the
Yeah,
amazing thing about Strictly.
exactly. and like we the people that got to the final last year, they I swear we didn't. I need to watch our last year's Strictly one back to see who we predicted. I don't
I
think
watched
that.
I watched it back. I predicted Robert Webb,
Of
so my
course, but you
prediction
never
this year.
know. That was kind of more like he could have got further if because he had an accident, didn't he? Or
Yeah,
yeah,
he did.
yeah. So I guess that's
Um,
kind of like bad luck.
and you predicted Tom Fletcher, I think. I think,
I did, but he got quite far, but
yeah, but he didn't do as well as we thought. Like, because he was a bit
no,
known.
I thought he'd be like amazing. And he was good, but if you compare him to like the people that were in the final.
Yeah, no, like no chance. But this year, I feel like I've done more like research into their dance backgrounds to make it like.
Mm,
So we'll see. We'll see if this is a more accurate method. Like each year, I try and do like different methods. Like the first year was just like my opinion. Then the second year, I started to do more like research into dance videos. And this time, I've gone like full hog. Like, have they had dance training or not? So
that's
I think that
yeah,
this might serve me right. I've
yeah.
gone deep this year. I've gone deep, journalistic. I'll be spitting some facts. You ain't.
You heard it here first. That's the podcast.
How did you approach it this year?
Similar to you, like you've probably not gonna lie, you're a lot better at like investigative work than I am, but I kind of similar sort to you. I kind of just research like how they got to where they are and whether that is relevant to dancing, if that makes sense. Like, did they go
Yeah,
drama school or something? Um, and I've also kind of based it on like I know this might sound stupid, but I sometimes base it on previous years. Like,
yeah.
oh, this type of person they struggled massively this that last year, so I feel like and their age. I guess it depends on their age, their,
Age has to go into it.
their popularity as well.
Definitely.
Like
Although, as we've seen, I usually go by popularity and it doesn't usually work out.
that's
So
true,
I've
yeah.
tried to stay away a bit from that. So I think I've given more people chances than I would have usually. Like I
Mm,
bumped a few people up based on like experience levels and stuff that I wouldn't usually. But we'll see, we'll see. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
let's get so 15 contestants.
Yes.
So
That's
we
quite a lot. That felt like more than usual, but I looked and it isn't, but
it's
it
all
felt
the
like a lot.
same. I think they had less when it was the COVID year,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
12. Um, but this year it is 15. Why
Yeah.
did I say that so slowly? So, let's go from, are we going to go from the bottom to the top?
Yeah, let's go bottom to the top.
That's how we like it. Uh, uh, podcast is PG, I promise. Well, it's not. Um,
If you want to sponsor us, I think at this point it's Answers Only Bad, so it's going to sponsor us
or OnlyFans
or OnlyFans. So fuck.
or Pornhub. Yeah.
Porn. Oh, why did I'd get a sponsor from Pornhub? Actually, there's this like company that I really want to sponsor us. Why do I literally? We have like no followers, but if we like, it's like Adam. I've forgotten the name of it.
Is it
It's
Pornhub?
like Adam Mail, and it's like this gay. They do like gay sex toys.
Oh,
I'd quite like to be sponsored by them.
why not? If they're
But
watching,
if you watch it,
we love your products. So 15th, who have you put? Who do you think's gonna be out first? This is quite brutal, but it's not personal.
not
Or
personal. So as I said, I had a look at all the experience, and I think Hamza Yassin
okay.
is going to
Yeah,
be 15th.
yeah.
Mainly because I think he's the least well known.
Mm,
Because sometimes people like who, but when they're footballers, right? If they play for like England, like you should like
I don't
that's just you not knowing, or like who for like CBB stars. I'm like, well, kids
know who they
know
are.
who they are. So like, I don't think that that's a valid who. This time, he's like a cameraman, right? As far as I've seen.
I thought he was a presenter.
Oh, is he a presenter? When I googled him, it said cameraman, and I was like, what?
How is a not I thought they have to be like can you be a celebrity if you're a cameraman? Is that
I thought I read he was a cameraman. Maybe I got it wrong.
maybe he is.
So I just thought, what
Maybe he
sort
does
of
both. Maybe he is a presenter and
maybe he does both. Yeah, maybe he does both.
very
In which case,
professional.
fair. But I feel like we'll go on to it later. But he does like Country File, I think. But Helen Skelton used to do Country File and those sort of programs. So I think if you watch those sort of programs, you're more likely to vote for Helen than him. So I think that's the main issue for him this year. He's
That's
got no previous,
true, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he's got no previous dance experience, and that I could see. And yeah, I just think compared to the others that also have no previous dance experience, I think um, he's the least well known. So yeah, I no offense, like I literally thought you were a cameraman. Um, so
Yeah,
um,
I'd not
yeah,
heard of him.
no,
Uh, but he might surprise us, you never know. Full of
yeah,
surprises on this show.
I
Uh,
think he's a valid who.
it
So
a valid
like
oh, is
who?
it
I
like
think it's valid for you to say who to him. Like what I was saying, like some people it's like footballers or they're on CBBC, that's not a valid who because they still have their own fans. Like I can't imagine like a Hamza Yassin
mm.
Instagram account, like fan page. That is that rude?
No, 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 because if you think of like football fans, they're like
Yeah.
they're dedicated fans. Like,
Even like we'll go into this later, but like loose women. There's fans of loose women.
oh, I love a bit of loose women.
So yeah, for me, sorry Hamza, you're in 15th place.
Souls.
I hope you do better. We always get proven wrong, so you probably will do better. I don't think
Exactly.
we've ever got it right, last place and first place.
No,
But yeah,
no.
hopefully.
So I have put this is quite ignorant because of what you just said about the footballer thing. But
Yeah,
I did put Tony Adams because footballers don't really have a history of doing that well on it.
yeah,
So I feel like he might I don't know if he'll be up first, but I don't think he'll get that far.
completely agree.
If I'm being brutal. I
I
don't
completely agree. I just think more people will vote for him than
that's
Hamza,
true, yeah. And
is what I thought.
As far as I've seen, he's not done any dance training,
No,
but I could
he's
be
not.
wrong.
He's not.
Um, so 14th.
14th, I have put Tony Adams. So
Yeah, so similar. Yeah,
similar. Just
yeah.
because, so I just thought so I don't think, just to add on, basically, I completely agree with what you just said for those reasons.
Mm,
So for me, it was a toss between Hamza and him for
mm.
bottom. Like, as I've said before, I just think that more people will know who he is from football. Like I didn't know who he was personally, but my mum was like very excited that he was on. So like I think he's actually quite a famous footballer, and I think if we were a bit older, we would have known who he is. I just think though that
Ah,
do um the reason why I placed him so low is he's got no dance experience, and also I just think the kind of people that would want to vote for him are like the dads. And do they vote on Strictly? Not really. It's the mums. My mum was like, I know who he is, but she wasn't like, oh, I'm a massive fan of Tony Adams, for example. She was like, oh yeah, I know who he is. That's cool. But like,
she might not
I
vote.
think I think the people that I've put a little bit further up will have more of a fan base that vote on Strictly.
That's a very clever way to think of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like a lot of young people like Tom Fletcher, but not many like young people even watch Strictly, really.
No. 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 No.
Like McFly's audience, I don't think they really watch. Mind you, Joe Sugg did really well.
And Harry Judd won from McFly.
And that, yeah. So
But
maybe
I do think it's changed since those days. I think now it's like who tugs on the heartstrings a bit and who's had the most journey. Like I feel like
oh,
the
good,
people
yeah.
that vote like that, yeah,
Yeah. We love a journey.
we love a journey.
Yeah.
Who's your 14th?
I was a bit unsure because I've kind of put I didn't know whether to put Has Yassin, who you put last,
Yeah,
14th, or whether to put him 13th. But I've put him 13th and I put Kate Adams 14th.
yeah.
just because I'm a little bit unsure, and she's a bit older. I'm really sorry if I've like offended you, offended by that. So I just thought like maybe she might struggle a bit, and like news readers, they do well to be fair, but as back to the audience thing, I don't think newsreaders necessarily have a massive fan base ish. I don't know. Mind you, Dan Walker, a lot of people voted for him, but that's because I think he kind of like had a bit of a journey and he was just like entertaining. So kind of, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. We are agreeing a lot this year because I put her
Did
in
you
my 13th in my 13th place. So, um, yeah, yeah. So we've literally our bottom three, obviously different orders, but they're the same bottom
similar?
three. Yeah,
Yeah,
similar.
for similar
Um,
reasons.
the only
Um,
reason why I think she'll do slightly better than the other two that we've mentioned is because I've looked at previous like loose women placements. So
mm,
obviously we had Judy Love last year, Ruth Langsford. They always don't come last, but they come nearish the bottom. And I do think that people that watch Loose Women watch Strictly and maybe vote for Strictly more than a footballer and people that watch Country File do. So that's the only reason why I put Kay slightly higher.
I know what you mean. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, she might have a bit more of a public thought.
Yeah, because
Um,
she is a journalism, but she also is on Loose Women. That's where people would, if she was just a journalist, I'd put her bottom.
that's true. I didn't really think of that. I didn't really take into consideration the loose women thing. I just kind of thought, oh yeah. I forget she's not just a newsreader or a journalist. So yeah.
So yeah, we've got a really similar bottom three then, because you put Hamza 13th, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Oh, I
You
did.
did.
Who is your 12th? Because we've done our bottom three, haven't we? So
Yes, we have.
who is your 12th?
Mine is now, this is where I've really, really struggled. I honestly found like top seven, say, and bottom three very easy. And then
Mm.
everything in between, I was like, could go either way. Could go either way. So, based on dance experience alone, I've put Richie Anderson as my 12th.
Ah, interesting. I've got him much further up because I think he'll do. I don't know.
So
I have a feeling he'll do quite well, but
I think he could either come 12th or 5th. Or like 7th. Like I
yeah,
really don't know.
he might surprise us. You mean?
Yeah. Um, so I know that he's in the same sex couple this year. Um, I think that's
Honestly,
been
I didn't
announced.
know. I didn't know that.
I think that's been announced. I'm not sure,
Ah,
but I'm
yes, I
pretty.
wasn't
It
sure.
might be a rumor, but I'm pretty sure. It seemed like a reliable source that said it, but it might just be a rumor.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because
Um,
I didn't know who was gonna um be in the same sex couple this year, or if they were gonna do it a female one or a male one.
yeah. So I'm apparently he's in the same sex couple.
Mm.
But I don't think that that is a novelty anymore, and I think that's a good thing. I think last year it was new and exciting, and that like when we were doing our ratings last year, I was like, oh yeah, John's in the same sex couple, so that will like boost it because it's new and it's different, and people would like that. I think John, in a really amazing way, set the stone for it to be normalized. Like it's normal now for a same sex couple, and that's really
Yeah.
good. That's really good,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, definitely. But I don't
it
know,
means that it's not as like the attention.
exciting.
Like you didn't even see the news that he'd. Do you know what I mean? That he'd been given the same-sex
Yeah.
pairing. That's how much it doesn't matter, um, which is great. But yeah, I do think that he, as far as I can see, he's had no dance experience whatsoever. However, I know that he's got fan bases on Zoe Ball Breakfast Show because like I know who he was from
Radio 2.
BBC Radio 2. So I know he's got more of a fan base than other people on the list, but other people on the list did have more dance experience, and that's where I went with it. Um,
Yeah, that's a
but
good way to look at it.
I do just think a few people were still going who on his one, and I thought that everyone would know who he was because
Mm.
like the BBC Radio 2 is on like one of the breakfast show on that is like one of them. I think it's like the most watched or listened to
Oh, it's so
radio,
popular. Yeah, Radio 2 is like
and yeah. so popular, and people were still saying who. So I was a bit like, like maybe his fan base isn't as big as I thought. I really hope he. I really like Richie. When he got announced, I was so excited.
Mm,
However, when others like when doing like before I did the research, I was literally like, oh, top half of like um the lead like the runnings. But as I did more and more, I was like, I just don't think he can dance.
no.
And there's nothing that he's ever like tried to dance. And also, he's a footballer I've seen, and footballers tend to have hard time. Like he's like that's his like sort of background, and
Mm,
footballers do tend to have a hard time learning to dance because it's different movements. It's not the same. Like if you've been to stage school, it's pretty much the same movements. So I count that as experience because you know you can do it. If you can do an 8 count, you're halfway there with Strictly. If you
yeah,
get the counting right. Whereas like for example, your dad had never even had anything, had he really?
yeah.
So
You've done a bit
and
of theatre, but that was about it, really.
yeah, but even that probably helped him, like in terms of characterization. Because if you remember James Cracknell that year,
So
he
bless.
literally, bless him, but he had like he couldn't even act a character. He really struggled with that. So your dad was even halfway there with that because he could act a character.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it gave him the ability to do that.
Yeah, I don't think Richie will be. I think he'll be able to act to character and be really like. I think it'll be funny. I think it'll be really funny and
Yeah, he's
fun.
got personality.
But so that's why I've not put him dead last or like. I don't think he'll be anywhere near the bottom three. But I think he might. When I did all the others, I was like, yeah, I see Richie. Unfortunately, 12 once I'd done my research. But before that, I would have put him a lot higher. So we'll see if this new technique is working.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
put James by as 12th because they've got two they've got a few big soap stars, but
Mm,
I recognised Will Mellor straight away, and I feel like he'll get more public vote, and he has got like a bit of dance background, but not. I feel like James By will kind of be a little bit below him, but I haven't put Will Mellor that much further up. But I think he'll do better because he's like a bit more well known. If that makes
yeah.
sense.
So yeah, that's really, really. I've done. Yeah, mine are a lot further up
Mm,
for both of them, and I'll explain why when I talk about them. But stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened.
and to be fair, like my middle from my bottom three upwards are people that I'm kind of not too sure on,
Same, same.
and then you get to the top until it gets to
Yeah,
like the top three. So like my reasons for putting people in that area aren't like there isn't really many reasons. I just wasn't 100% sure.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
they're kind of like middle people.
yeah,
So yeah, don't
yeah.
get yes, that is my main reasons for the people that I've got coming up because it's just hard to tell
It
sometimes.
is so hard. Like I really struggled this year more than ever, more than ever. Um, so was that your 12th?
Yeah. So we've both done our 12th now, haven't
Yeah,
we?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
11th.
so I was actually I tried to not do it on like personal preference because these so Richie and this next person are like actually two of the ones I'm most excited for.
Mm.
Um, it's people that I followed for years, but my 11th is Ellie Taylor. Um,
Oh, okay. I've put her a bit further up than that, but what made you put her
so
11th?
I really, really like her. I've loved it ever since Nog Marry Avoid. I think like I was genuinely excited to see that she had been
Mm.
asked to do it. She literally says in her VT for in her interview, they've published all the interviews on Strictly website. She says that she dances like a giraffe and has never had any training. And I was like, mm,
But I don't think Stacey Dooley had any.
true.
So she could be like a surprise. Because when I saw her, I thought, oh, she could be like one that's like not got any dance training, but like surprises us and like gets better each week, like in a journey.
That is true, but I don't remember Stacey Dooley ever saying that she danced like a giraffe.
That's true. Maybe she'd had some.
That that was the warning signs for me. I was about to place her a bit higher, because she's quite young, and I thought like, yeah, she'll learn. You know, like Stacey, she's similar age to Stacey, but I
Mm,
was just a bit like,
I know what you mean.
actually, if you're saying that you can't dance, you know, the show don't work miracles. It
No.
don't. Like, it doesn't create like you might you've got to have that natural sense of rhythm. And
Yeah.
I think that's why footballers struggle so hard because they're used to a different set of rhythm in football.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
100%. Yeah.
Whereas, like, for example, your dad did quite well. Like, he got like really far because he's obviously had that theatre background, and obviously massive hard. You have to like put the training in. Like the ones that go home first to me are the ones that don't put the training in. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll say that for free. Yeah. Not everyone puts.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it's a mixture of hard work, natural ability, and obviously like previous experience. But the previous experience doesn't matter, as we've seen with Stacey Dooley, if you've got that natural ability. But just from what she said in the interview, I'm not sure if Ellie Taylor has that natural ability. So then she only has the sort of, you know, fitness
Mm.
level, youthfulness thing, and hard work is all that she's got. Whereas other people just have a little bit more
Mm.
to make them be better. So that's why I put her 11th. But before I did the ranking, I literally put her top half. It's just that I have so many in the top half that they then become bottom half. Yeah,
Yeah, I found that, like, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, they're quite up," and then compared to everyone else, they're not.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Yeah. So as I said, my next few are kind of ones I'm not too sure about. So I put Matt Goss 11th.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, have you seen his Christmas special Strictly?
No. See, that's the thing, you're much better at investigative. I should have
He's done a Christmas
that.
special Strictly Babs,
And was
and
it
it was very good.
so you think he might do better?
Slightly better.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly better than 11th. He
Yeah.
didn't win it. He didn't win it, but he did do very well.
I was just a bit unsure, so I just put him. Um, mind you, you might, yeah. I should have
People
put him a
have,
bit further up, but then compared to like other people I've put, that it was partly a bit like what you said, like partly the reason he's that far down is because
yeah,
I feel like there's other people that will go a bit further. But I think maybe he'll
absolutely.
surprise us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also on the Christmas special, he only did ballroom, and I think he would be better at ballroom. He's like his stature and everything would be better
Mm,
than maybe Latin. So we've not seen that side.
no,
So you might be completely right.
I
I
don't know.
might have overranked him. We don't know. We
No,
don't know.
no, but
That's
you,
the exciting thing about it
it surprises you.
every time.
Who is 10th then for you?
Now, I think this person could actually win.
Win,
Yeah, in my 10th, but
but you
there's just so many things going on that I just can't
picture it.
yeah, I personally, but doing research, I was like, "Oh, oh." So, my 10th is the comedian Jade Adams.
Same. I put
Is
her.
it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, mine's that
Right,
exact.
let's speak about her then. Um, I'm excited for her. So I never heard of her,
No, I
and
haven't.
I had to admit I was a bit like, you know, there's way more. I was a bit confused why they casted her because I feel like she could have done like usually if there's a comedian they're like on a BBC show or presenting a BBC show, so
Mm,
then they do it to like boost the ratings of that show. I think that's fair to say. Like Chris Ramsey obviously is now doing the Chris and Rosie show, so they
yeah,
obviously had that in. They were obviously testing him out to see what he could do, and you know, like, and he was a bigger name than Rosie,
Jade.
um, Jade anyway.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think she's that as well known.
However, she danced from 5 to 17 at her auntie's
That's the thing.
dance class.
Yeah, she has got dance background, I did see. So it's like,
Massive, not just like a little bit, massive dance background.
and
And
comedians
I
do bring the personality.
yeah, and I saw some of I saw some of her stand up and she's very funny. She's got personality. And also, do you remember Susan Coleman a few years back? She did it ages ago now, and
Yeah.
I had no idea who she was, and she couldn't even dance that well, but she was funny, and she made it, like, quite far in the competition.
Yeah.
So, I think she could be so funny and that she could actually win, and with her dance experience, because also, like, I feel like recently it's like someone that surprises you wins. So Bill Bailey, a massive
Oh, he
shock.
surprised everyone. Yeah, I don't think we put him at the top anywhere near.
No, Rose, I was like, "How is it gonna work? She's deaf." And like, that's a prejudiced statement now, but, like, at the time, it was really like, oh, it was more of a, like, curiosity, like, "Oh, how is that actually gonna work?" And she
Yeah.
absolutely blew it away, completely deserved to win. So, yeah, I think because of, like, the lack of fan base, it's really hard um, to know whether people are gonna root for her, but I think they could, and also I think that, like, it would be so unexpected if she won, and I think people, like, as we've seen with Rose and Bill Bailey, people are going towards that route. Why did you put a 10?
Same sort of reasons, really. Like, I just thought like there's a lack of fan base there. But then I was also a bit like 50-50. So that's why she's kind of like smack bang in the middle. She's
Yeah.
9th. It's not like she's 10th. So that's why I kind of put her in the middle because I was like, she's either gonna like get to the final or win, or she's gonna like go out reasonably early, purely down to like lack of fan base. But the reasons why she could do well is she could definitely bring the personality and like Judy Love, like she couldn't really dance last year, but she brought the entertainment. And she got quite far. She got quite a few weeks in.
Yeah, but I think Jade can dance,
Yeah, whereas Jade could be like Judy Love, but actually can like
and
dance.
Judy would have won. I think Judy would have won if she could dance better.
Mm.
So, yeah, very exciting.
Who's your ninth?
So, mine is another one that I'm not too sure about, Tyler West.
Okay, I've got him a bit further up. What makes you think that he might not? What makes you not too sure about him?
So, I've seen that he's got dance experience.
Mm, that's why I got him.
However, I feel like I'm the demographic for Kiss radio station, and I actually know other people that are on Kiss. Like, I know Jordan Banjo's got a show with the other guy from Diversity, Perry. I'm aware of Kiss, um, and some of its presenters. I have never heard of this man before, and I feel like I'm the
Really?
never heard of him.
He was one of the ones that I'd heard, but I don't really think I'd watched a few clips of him like interviewing people.
Oh, fair. No, I've never heard of it,
That's
and I feel like
awful.
I'm his demographic,
Like he
sort of
interviewed
thing.
H, I think. I think that's where I first saw him.
Okay,
At
so
H.
maybe people do know him.
Yeah. So maybe like young, but then like you said, young people don't really vote.
Yeah, and,
Won't
like,
watch it.
I honestly had never heard of him, um, but he has got that dance experience, so I am like, "Ooh,"
And he's got
um,
personality as well. Like I quite
does
when I've like
he? Yeah,
watched the clips and quite like bantery.
that's interesting. Yeah, yeah, I watched a couple of clips and I was like, he was slightly, I felt like he was slightly more personable than Jade. Um, so that's the only reason. But I was like swapping those two around all the time. But I think one of them is going to be the shock one that maybe in the final that I've not even like considered. You know, like I can't remember who it was last. I think it was John last year,
Mm.
because his personality was so good. And like Rose, I think I put Rose and John like about this level last year.
At this level,
Um,
yeah.
but they've both got dance experience, so I think they're both going to be able to like do some moves. But yeah, I just didn't know who his fan base would be because I feel like I should be his fan base and his demographic, and I never heard of him. If
No.
that makes sense,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
because
So
I'm so aware of Kiss. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, you haven't watched you hadn't seen him before.
no,
Um no, I think I did put him further up purely because of like well, first the dance experience, but also I just think he's like even if people haven't heard of him, I think people will like warm to him because he just seems quite nice,
yeah, 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 definitely.
even if they've
I
not heard of him. So you never
I
know.
think I think 10 and above. could literally like now we're talking about it because if you've not got dance experience, you're not going to do as well. Maybe like if you're just like lucky. So yeah, I think really honestly, like when I said like I think Jay could win, I actually think she could. I did.
I
I think Tyler could. Um,
think anyone, yeah.
any
Yeah,
of them can. That's the thing. I mean, maybe not Kay Adams, but sorry,
sorry, Kay.
she might shock us.
You
Debbie
never know. We're
maybe.
gonna look so dumb now if she wins.
Yeah,
Maybe not Kay Adams. Um,
I want her to win. I want them all to do well. Like we're
oh
not trying
yeah.
to like flag them off or
No,
well
this
we
is
are.
just like our predictions. It's a
Yeah,
competition.
it's not just a prediction. We just love Strictly so much, and we're just like literally this is just us like airing our thoughts. Like it's nothing personal. We actually want you to. I love it when I'm proved wrong. Love
Oh
it
yeah, definitely. We've been proved wrong like every
so
year.
many times.
Yeah. I've got Will Mellor ninth. I wasn't too sure about him, but I think he will. I am thinking maybe he'll get further than that though, because I feel like he will get. Did you recognise him straight away? Because I was like, I've definitely seen him loads of times.
Was he on Waterloo Road as well, or am I making that up?
I think he was. Why am I recognising this man? Is this man like just been living in my head rent free?
I think so. No, he's on all the panel shows as well. Like you know, Celeb Juice. He's always on that. Like
Yeah,
he's on everything. It's just one of those
I
people.
think he may get further than ninth, but I just kind of put him in the middle because I wasn't too sure. But
So I think that's completely fair.
um, I think like the audience will love him, like the mums,
Yeah,
um, especially if they watch Corey. Like my mum loves Corey, she'll probably vote for him. Um, bit of dance background. Actors normally do quite well,
yeah.
so I think he could definitely maybe even get further than ninth. Probably, I think
Yeah.
he'll get further than ninth actually.
We'll see. Like it's hard this year because I think like so many of them have
Yeah,
dance back. I
I
think
was,
it's going to be a really like solid year, solid year.
yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that I was surprised at how many actually had like experience, especially when you said like at least eight of them. 'Cause I hadn't really counted. I just kind of like flippantly looked, but yeah, that's like mental.
Yeah.
So, who is your eighth? We're getting further to the top.
See, I think now it could literally be any order, but I
Yeah.
have put eight now because so this is the last person that I think so. Yeah, this is the last person that doesn't have any dance experience.
Hmm.
Um, and that is Ellie Simmons.
I've got her eighth as well. Yeah.
Because I think I think she could be the surprise of the series.
Yeah.
But I have to go with what I've got.
Mhm.
And she hasn't, but I mean, talk about current, like she's just finished the Commonwealth Games in the closing, like presenting for the BBC in the closing ceremony. She did that speech, literally watched by like millions of people.
Oh, she's so
Um,
well known. Like
she's
she
so well known, like she's got such a big fan base, and like I think she did really well presenting the Commonwealth Games.
mm.
Um, so I think her fan base couldn't be bigger than it is. Say if it hadn't been like an athletic event this year, I would be like, oh, maybe people won't like remember, like, or like she might not be as in people's memories as she is now. But this, she couldn't be doing this at a bigger time. Having said that, though, I said the exact same about Adam Peaty last year. That like he just like I thought he was gonna do so that because I was like, oh, maybe like final, but then I was like, no, Adam Peaty. I said the exact same as last year. Like he can be more famous than he is now. Like he's doing it in his prime, um, but like really didn't help. So yeah, so that's why I put her eighth. I have seen that there was another person with restricted growth um, that did Dancing with the Stars in um, America, like the American Strictly, and she was really like they adapted all the performances because I was like I feel like it's fair I was like how are they going to
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
it?
no, of course. And we thought that last year with Rose, like it's
Yeah,
but the way they adapted it to for that and yeah, it's just amazing what like how modern TV is able to.
Yeah,
It will only get them to expand their contestants even more. Like they'll have people of all sorts of like,
disabilities.
yeah, yeah. So it's
And yeah, honestly, it was really like her routines were like some of my favorites that I've ever seen. And she went really, really far. Obviously, she might have had more dance background than Ellie. I don't know that. But all I can say is, if you're one of these people who are concerned about how it's gonna happen, don't be, because I think they're gonna smash it like they always do. And
yeah.
if you are intrigued, then go and watch the woman. I can't remember her name at all, but if you type in "dancing with the stars," person of restricted growth, it will come up, and it's like worth looking at because it made me excited actually. But yeah, so why did you think? Why did you put Ellie eighth?
I was a bit 50-50 on her because I think obviously she's like a bit like Adam Peters, you said. She's like in her prime at the minute because she's like she's been doing like the Commonwealth Games and stuff, and she's like been on telly loads, and she is really well known. Like I'm
Yeah,
not a massive sport watcher, but I would know
yeah,
I knew who she was straight away. And she's like been well known for years now. But again, like they're not really having much like any dance background may put her down a bit, but then obviously people can learn. I'm interested to see how they adapt the routines and stuff. But you never know, she might surprise us. And I think Adam did better than the judges made him out to be. I think he got underscored quite a lot.
yeah, definitely, yeah. Because there was that one performance. I remember he like literally like held Katia. Was it
The Paso Doble, that was amazing.
the dope? That was one of the dances that I literally remember from last series still.
Yeah,
So yeah, 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 definitely,
I think he got underscored.
yeah,
Controversial, but
definitely.
facts. Um, so who's your seventh?
My seventh, looking at it now, maybe should be higher up, but it is Molly Rainford. Is that the name?
Oh, see, I hadn't actually heard of her. I'm sure really bad.
I hadn't. And that's the only reason why I had put her seventh is all the rest I'd heard of. I do think she's going to do very well. She's got dance background,
Yeah,
but as I always, I think other people have got will be better at the dancing. The people that
that's
I've got,
true. Yeah, because I've put her.
um,
I think she might do. I think she might get to the final.
I think she could. It really depends, but as I always say, kids don't vote. Um, as
So,
we saw last year, Reese was always constantly in the bottom two.
oh, don't
Obviously, he
get me
did.
started. I was get so angry that he
Yeah,
didn't get enough public vote because he was so good.
he was so so good. But with some of these kids TV people,
Hmm.
they don't do as well, and it's just it's
That's because they
unfortunate.
don't know. Yeah, but then Karim did really well. But then I
He
think,
did, but he was also in the. He was slightly better than Reese. No offense.
yeah, he was.
Um,
I think he had a bit more confidence than Reese. I think Reese kind of like was a bit more nervous, but he was still
yeah,
amazing. And I think he got massively underscored and
definitely,
underrated. Um,
definitely, definitely. But if you think about, so I'm putting her in the same category as like Maisie Smith and
yeah,
Corinne.
yeah,
And I think so I don't think she will win, but I think she'll do very well. I think she might be the best dancer. I think she might top the leaderboard a few weeks. I just don't I think she'll be in the bottom two a few many and I think this year it's actually tougher than when Corinne was on it and when Maisie Smith was on it. So
there's more
so
competition.
I
Yeah,
think there's more competition and more people are more well known. That arguably like Maisie Smith is more well known than this Molly Rainford. Um, so I think that helps her favour. But I think she will be in the bottom two a few times just because it's not even like she's like the main presenter of CBBC. She's just got a show on CBBC
yeah,
as
exactly.
well. So she's even like less well known, arguably, than Reese was. And how many times Reese was in it. So yeah, I just thought that's why I put her. I think she's going to do amazing. I think she's going to top leaderboards. But I think this competition this year is going to be one of the strongest.
Mm. It is. It's very strong competition.
Yeah.
So my seventh. Oh God, I should have put. I. I feel like I'm going to offend the UK with mine, with my seventh. But I feel like I should have put her further up now.
Go on, you got to say it.
Helen Skelton's my seventh. But I feel like she's.
No.
But now I'm not thinking about it. What I'm a bit like. I feel like I should have put her further up.
So I'm going to say mine. I've done a lot of research on Helen
Mm,
because I was really struggling between my top one and two. So spoiler alert, she's in my top two.
she's in my.
Um,
I don't know
and
why I put her in the more in the
I
middle.
couldn't I couldn't split them up. I did most of my research on my top two. And yeah, so I'll say more when I reach my top two, but
You've got good reasons for putting her further up.
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, which I'll explain more later. So what was your reasoning?
I don't. I just wasn't sure because.
Yeah,
But now I'm thinking about it, she's so well known. She's gonna get public vote. But then, to be fair, are young people gonna vote for her? But then she was more of a kids presenter like years ago. Now she's not really a kids presenter anymore.
and I think the people that will know her are our age who do vote,
Yeah.
or the mums of people. Like my mum knew her from Blue Peter as well.
Yeah,
Um,
so actually, I'm a bit like, hmm. I think I just wasn't sure. That was my
yeah,
main. So that's such
yeah.
a shit reason, really. I just wasn't.
No, like these are predictions for a reason. These are
And
predictions for a reason.
and
We
I have
we
got people like in the top that I think that I have reasons that I think will get in the top. So maybe that's why she's further down.
Yeah,
So I'm really sorry if I've like offended the nation with
the UK ain't talking to you, Babs.
that. um, yeah, it's only because that is the main reason really. There's people I've got further up, but I feel like she'll do better than seventh, 100%.
Yeah,
She could make the final. She could even win. You never know.
you never know. You never know.
Uh,
That's really interesting. So on to sixth place. So this is quarterfinal territory.
Quarter final, yeah,
So
it is actually. So this is getting hot.
way into it. Um, my sixth place was Will Mellor, who you've spoken about already.
I think,
Who's got the
I think he'll
he,
get to about there as well.
he's got the dance training. He's got the um, he's well known, and although so this is where I've started to realize a pattern. If people are currently in the soap and have been for years,
Mm,
right, but they're currently in that soap, they stay longer than people who have left a soap.
that is so true.
And
Yeah.
I had a brainwave. So like if you think about it, like Emma Barton was playing Honey while she was in it, but like
Yeah.
people like who went Lee Ryan, he hadn't been in the soap for years, so that's why he went at home quite early.
Neither had Kelvin though, to be fair.
To be fair,
But
Kelvin had just left.
he'd been doing like other shows, I think. I think he'd been doing like a racer.
That's true. Kelvin breaks that theory.
And he was so good, so I think he kind of made up for it by just being Kelvin. For
But
being as good.
people forget people very easily.
Mm.
You have to be a massive name, and he's not been in Corrie. He wasn't a main character in Corrie.
How do I
Um,
remember him so much? How do I like
he is on everything. He is on everything. He is a big name. So I do think he'll make it. Like to achieve the quarterfinal is amazing.
oh yeah.
However, I think I've sort of based it on who, because if you think about it, like EastEnders, right? Like about 5 million people daily watch it.
Mm.
That give or take 5 million. So if
No.
you're on it currently, and then do you know what I mean? People are going to,
Oh yeah.
and it's a BBC show, so the same people are gonna and like. But even if you get like a million votes, that's way more than the average person. So and because they're currently on. However, if you've like not been on EastEnders for a while, that million gets less and less people because
Mm.
less and less people will remember who you are potentially, or like remember your character as well. So I sort of thought, yeah, I mean, this is very like stupid reasons at the moment. It's like
They are
nitpicking,
not
and
stupid.
it could be
No. No, that's the thing.
So yeah,
It's
so
also a
sixth place.
wild estimate.
Yeah, so sixth place is Will Mellor.
Will Miller. So we chatted about Tyler West earlier, so I have got him in sixth,
Right.
but I think Helen Skelton will definitely probably get further than him. I don't
Yeah.
really know. I must have really flippantly put them two like in the same sort of place, but
Yeah.
as I said, I think he will do quite well. Sixth place is pushing it, like that is very well. So I
That's
think
really good.
he'll have to get good public vote, but I think he'll even people who don't know who he is, I think they'll warm to him. As I
Yeah.
said, I think they will because he just seems quite likable.
Yeah.
I like, yeah, Tyler Westham.
Absolutely.
Um,
And
so
hope I think they're eyeing him up for like hosting a TV show and they're seeing if he's popular. Is what I'm thinking.
yes, yeah, he could be. Maybe this is like his little. I'm trying to go into TV
Yeah.
because yeah, you do see that with some radio presenters when they do this, they end up doing a lot more TV work after it because
And actually, this has literally just reminded me, and I hadn't even thought about this. Melvin O'Doom, when he was on Strictly, was
okay,
on Kiss,
he was.
and then he moved over to Radio One. So I think they might be doing this to maybe get him, because obviously Scott Mills is leaving. Quite a few people are leaving Radio One.
I
So
know,
I think they
yeah,
might
they
be.
are. Loads of
I
people
think I think they might be trying to pinch him on Radio One.
pinch him in.
So if that happens, I'm a predictor.
He's very Radio One. I think he'd suit Radio One.
Yeah, I think he's going to be on Radio One.
Quite like young and fresh. So the minute he gets on Radio One, we're gonna put this podcast out. Like
Yeah,
we predicted it, we knew it.
absolutely. But also saying that, Radio One people, so Dev and Melvin came quite lower. So he might even be an early out, potentially.
I think Melvin won the Christmas special.
He did.
Um,
But in his actual season,
he didn't do very well, and
but
it's
he won the Christmas special after he'd been on Strictly. So he'd already learnt a bit.
yeah, and it's easier to win the Christmas special because they're a bit more nice. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie, sorry.
And sometimes the best dancers don't even win the Christmas special. But anyway, let's not start with. I
Quite
love Melvin O'Doom.
now on to showdown.
I might do my fourth and fifth together if that's okay.
Oh, as in like you think they're gonna come in the same place? No, similar. You're not sure who will come which.
Yes.
Is that what you mean? Yeah. No, go.
So, well, I do, but I just wanted to say my reason. But basically, I put my sixth, fifth, and fourth like so close together
Mm.
that I just kind of want to say them together because I couldn't really separate them. But I have a logical reason for why I've put them. If that's okay.
Of course. Go for it.
So I put my fifth as James By,
Okay, yeah.
um, and I put my fourth as Kim Marsh
Kim Marsh.
because James By is currently in EastEnders. So people don't know his name, but when my mum found out that Martin Fowler from EastEnders was on Strictly, she was like, "Oh my god!" She literally texted me like, "I can't believe it." So
So he'll get vote.
I think he'll get votes because he's sexy. He is. He's going to be like the fit.
James
Um,
Guy is yeah.
oh, wait till you see him on EastEnders, lad.
I
He is
think
fit.
Will Mellor's fitter. Maybe
That
that
is a controversial statement.
I think that's why I
They'll
said
be
Will
having
Mellor.
it out for who's fittest. But yeah, so compared to um, Will Mellor, I think James By might do slightly better because he's on EastEnders every night. Will's not on TV every night at the
Well,
moment.
I thought Will was a bigger name, but then I guess if James is still on EastEnders now, I kind of
Yeah,
get what
because
you mean.
Honey from East, like Emma Barton,
Mm,
was not a main character in EastEnders. Like Will Mellor is arguably a bigger name than Emma Barton, but Emma was on EastEnders every night, so she got the public vote.
that's the thing. Maybe
Um,
that's why a lot of people don't leave their jobs when they
yeah,
do it.
I think so because it
It's
helps
more
you get the
creative
vote.
in EastEnders, I think, as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, and then Kim Marsh. Yes, she's quit Corrie a long time ago,
Mm.
Well, a few years ago, a couple of years ago. However, as you will know, Izzy, she's on Morning Live.
She is, so she is still quite, and she's doing, she's gonna be in Waterloo Road.
Yes,
She's
yes.
currently filming that, so she, although that's not gonna be on at the same time Strictly,
But I
uh,
think they're prepping us for that.
yeah, it's 'cause
They're
I've
getting
got
feelers.
really
They
fast.
do that, they get feelers. They make it so it's more psychological than you think Strictly is, I think, personally, because they
Oh,
get feelers out. So if they want something, if they're trying out a new drama and they're testing the lead, they'll put them on. Because often have we seen AJ now? She's on everything. Because they were obviously like, "Oh yeah, we really want like a young black woman." Because we've got diversity issues at the BBC, so let's like test her in Strictly. She did fab. Now she's always on Eurovision, like she's doing like loads of shows.
yeah,
Like
she
they
does so
do
much
it to
telly now.
test, yeah, to trial things out. But also, if they know that they've got a show coming on, like for example, the Chris Ramsey show, they
Yeah,
put Chris Ramsey on because they knew that they wanted to commission him to do a show, and they wanted to get it in the public mind that oh, we like Chris Ramsey, BBC. So then when it came out, the public are like, yeah, let's watch that.
mm.
It's more psychological than you think. But anyway, so I
Especially if
think
it's a BBC show, just saying.
yeah, exactly. No, of course they're going to do that. Of course, it's easy publicity because the BBC can't advertise, can they? They can't. They do you know what I mean? You don't see big BBC. Oh, actually, you do. But like the BBC,
They don't get ad
yeah,
coverage.
they're going to advertise. They're going to publicise their own show. Of course they are. Like, if the people that say like, why would they do that? Like, if you had a TV channel and you had the biggest show and you wanted other people to watch your show, you'd get people from the people that you would want people to watch that show. How many
Yeah,
times did I say people on your show, on your main show? That's just obvious to me.
spit and flax since 1999.
Exactly. But I do think, and also Hearsay were like a massive band, which is what Kim Marsh is from, Pure
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Simple. They
yeah.
were a massive band, bigger than anything James By has been in. Um, and she's on TV pretty much most, like every few days with Morning Live, which has like about 1 million viewers. So that's like quite a lot of
Yeah,
people.
yeah, does quite well.
Just quite well, your little show. Um, so yes, I think Kim will do slightly better than James Barr because I just didn't want to contradict myself because I know that I just said that James is on TV all the time and he's still on the same soap, so that's why people will vote for him. And I know that Kim's not on her soap anymore, but my point is she is still on TV, so that's why I wanted to put my fourth and fifth together. That
She's
was
in,
really long-winded, but I hope that makes sense.
no, very good reason. She's like in my top, one of my top for
Yeah,
those reasons, because I think she will not only get the vote, but I think with her background,
yeah,
will also bring the dance
yeah.
talent.
And fourth is still the final, so I think Kim will make the final.
100%. So we chatted about Ellie Taylor earlier, and she is my fifth.
Right.
Although, after you said that you've seen that clip, I've not seen that clip, so maybe she might not do as well as fifth. But I feel like she might. I mean, even though I don't know who she is, I feel like she might get good public vote if she
Yeah.
can dance. If she can dance, though, I feel like if she can't dance that well, I don't think public vote will save her.
No.
I think she will drop right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is quite. Um, but with no, I like what I said. I think she could be a little bit of a Stacey Dooley. That's why I put her quite further up, even though she's
Yeah,
quite.
you could be, to be fair.
Yeah, because even I was like, oh, she's not got any dance background. I think she might surprise us, but you never know.
You never know.
No, so that's why she is my fifth.
Who's your fourth?
Me fourth, I put Mr. Richie Anderson.
Right, I forgot about him.
Yeah, because he was down near your bot.
He was my 12th, I think.
Yeah, he was your 12. But I just think he'll get good public though. Like Radio 2, popular. He's young. Um, I think he'll be really good as well. Like
I think
Clara.
he's funny. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, Clara came from Radio, no, she's Radio 1. But
yeah,
radio presenters often tend to do quite well because they've often got a little bit of like background, some of them, not all of
yeah.
them. So I think he will get good vote and he'll be quite likable as well. And he's got personality. I think
Absolutely,
that
yeah.
gets you a long way on this show. I think it gets people further than they think.
And I think also his the people that do know who he is do vote on Strictly, if that
Mm,
makes sense. Like you can be really well known, but people don't. vote for you on Strictly.
Exactly.
The nature of the beast. So yeah, potentially. Should we get to our final three?
Yes, I'm excited.
My third is Matt Goss.
Right, who I had 11th.
But we both done it. We both done it. Um, I I've seen his Christmas special. The man can do a ballroom. He's got rhythm.
Yeah,
Broth, the band that he was in, we wouldn't really know that well,
I've never
but
heard of that band. I'm sorry.
you'll know their song. They did. Have you ever heard the song that goes, "When will I be famous? I can't answer that." Izzy, come on, you'll know a Bros song. Does your mum go downstairs and ask him right now?
I've
If
eaten
she
a broth, but I've not heard of the band broth.
ask your mum right now, and who a Bros are, and she will be like, "How do you not know?" Like they are massive.
I'm
As in, I think
messaging
they've
her
won
now.
like.
What's broth? Is it spelled BROFF? Oh, what's the band? Never.
She will know. And
She's
they're
gonna.
the people that, like, as in, I think they've won Grammy awards and like Brit
Really?
Awards.
God, I
Like they
feel like
are
I've
so
offended all their
famous.
fans. Is
They
there
are
any
so
fans?
famous.
Broth is a type of soup that you have when you're ill.
That's a broth.
I thought it was a broth. Oh, Mum sent me 2 question marks,
No, she knows them.
and she put bros.
Oh yeah, say broth. Say Matt Goss. Say,
Oh, is it
do you know who
Matt
Matt Goss is?
Matt Goss? She's gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
No, she will know.
Matt Goss, the band he's in.
I bet. If your mum doesn't know, I'll be shocked. Like, I think they won Grammys.
She
But
gave
can
me a
you hear?
lecture when I didn't know who Sophie Ellis Bextor was, so she must
Yeah,
know.
like he's more famous than Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Oh, she put, "Yeah, 80s lol."
Yeah.
So she must know. So are
Because
they,
I
like, up there with, like, Ed Sheeran and
They were there. I think they were they were a band. They were a band of brothers. So who are they now?
like the Beatles?
No, not that famous. Um, who would it be the equivalent to? Like they had number ones,
The Vamps?
bigger than the Vamps.
Um, like The Wanted?
Yeah, maybe bigger.
Bigger than The Wanted are quite.
They're big in America.
Oh, bigger in America. Maybe that's why I'm not. Backstreet Boys?
Yeah, probably.
Westlife?
Yeah, maybe a bit bigger. Like
Um,
Pet Shop Boys.
Cheeky Girls?
Sure. Like they sold out the O2 Arena with their comeback in 2017. They've
Oh,
sold 16 million records.
wow.
Um, they won a Brit Award for Breakthrough Act. So people that have won a Brit Award,
I think if you
um,
won a Brit Award, then you're.
they've got like so many number ones. Even in yeah, even in other countries,
Mm,
um, they're like proper. I was shocked when he was on it.
really?
Um, so who else has like won a Brit Award? Like
Adele,
yeah,
uh,
literally like
Dua Lipa.
they are famous. I'd say they're the same. You know, Boy George. Do you know who he is?
Oh, yeah, him, yeah.
Same level as him.
Ah,
Back in the day. Um, so yeah. Anyway, on that. So your mum knew who he. Yeah. Anyway, that was a massive tangent.
she didn't
Um,
at first, and she was like, and I was like, Matt Goss.
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the mums will love him. Um, I think he can do ballroom, maybe not Latin. Um, but yeah, he's in the Christmas special. He did really well on that. I think
Mm.
he's gonna do really well.
So you think he'll be in
I
which?
can't believe you never heard that song. Rylan did it on X Factor. Will
That was so
I
long
be
ago, though. I'm old
free?
now.
That was 10 years ago.
I don't remember yesterday, so I don't know.
But yeah, it was like their song was on X Factor,
That's when you know.
and like ages after. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like it was just been released. But anyway.
So they're icons.
Well, I think they're a bit annoying actually, but no, I don't personally like them, but general people do.
He'll still make the final.
Yeah, I think so. I can't imagine the final without Matt Goss. Anyway, who's your third? Sorry.
So
Yeah, who's
I put Molly Rainford um in
Molly?
my top three because I feel like she'll be a bit like a Maisie Smith,
Yeah,
young dance
potentially.
background. I think she will.
But my
What?
only thing with Maisie Smith is that there was only 12 contestants
I literally was thinking that. Yeah, and
and she was in the bottom two loads.
she was actually. Yeah, I remember her being in the bottom. Yeah, I forgot about that. I think because she got to the final, thinking, oh yeah, she got massive public vote, but she didn't really.
No.
She did at first. I think there was only twice she was in bottom two.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that was like jealousy. I think because she was like a young.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there is when it's like a woman doing really well. I think people get more jealous.
100%. It's so bad, but it's true.
Like I don't know. So yeah, I think she. I don't know if she'll win or even get third, but I think
But
she
she'll
might
do well.
make it to the semis.
Yeah, 100%. She'll do well.
Mm. And I think that even if she isn't good at first, I think she'll progress. Because even though Maisie was amazing, there was a couple of dances that she struggled with.
Yeah.
She was pretty much amazing all the way through, but I remember like there was, I think she struggled with the cha-cha and the salsa. I think those were her like bottom two.
Yeah,
So I think she'll still do well though. So I put her there.
definitely.
So we on to second.
Yeah. So my second is Fleur East.
I was so excited when she got announced.
I could not believe it.
I was so
I
excited.
so I really was like, like between my top two, as I said earlier.
Mm.
And basically, I would say once I announced the top, I mean it's obvious because I already told you. But once I announced the top, I'll go through more detail. But if you look back on Fleur's X Factor performances, she is a dancer. Like
Oh God.
she can dance, and I feel like she can pick up any style. I think she'll be good at the ballroom. I think she'll be good at the Latin. I think she could easily win. Like, I was nitpicking reasons why I didn't pick her first. Like my top two, I had like that was the hardest one. If I could put any joint, it would be them two joint first. Like honestly.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, Fleur is second. Um, she's gonna do well. She's gonna make the final. I think that's just a
Oh,
given at this point.
100%. I love her on
Um,
radio as well. I think she's really likable as well.
oh, completely. Like she came fourth in I'm a Celeb. Do you know what I mean?
I think
So
she's just a bit of an icon.
that just shows you what, like she's got the personality. She came second in X Factor, so she can, I feel like singers know like can do an 8 count. That helps you.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think, and she's still like proper relevant as well. Like she's on TV a lot as well as radio.
Yeah.
Like she did, um, like she did like a Jubilee thing that was on telly, like a
Yeah.
Manchester Jubilee thing. She presented that with Jason Manford, which is like quite a big thing. So she's still like doing bits.
Yeah. I think she's definitely gonna make the final. I don't know when she's gonna come in it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think she might.
Fleur is my second place.
I've got Kim Marsh as my second.
Right.
Same sort of things as we discussed earlier. Still very much relevant on telly. Also Hearsay, well-known band. Lots of dance background with all the stuff that she does. Corrie, very well known with the people that vote on Strictly. Like even though she left it, Corrie is like. And Waterloo Road fans, if they know that she's going to be on it, do you think they'll vote? If they know that
I'm
she.
not sure because I don't think they've fallen in love with the character yet.
No, that's the thing. That's my only like. Yeah, that's the only downfall she might have. She's not on a soap currently. That's
But she's
currently
on
on.
TV currently.
But
She's on
she's on
TV.
TV a lot. She's very well known. She's still like very much relevant. But I also think she'll like be a really good dancer.
Yeah.
Whether or not she'll make the final, bit unsure. Um, I think she could. She's definitely up there in my top because I just predict. You know, I just have a feeling. I think she's up there with that.
Yeah, yeah, she's definitely gonna make the final.
Mm,
I feel like, yeah, I feel like Fleur, Kim and Fleur are definitely gonna make the final.
yeah.
The others, not too sure. They might not.
Or Helen Skelton, I think. I'm an idiot for putting her further down.
No, I don't think. Well, maybe. But talking of Helen Skelton, she is my first, and I have done the most research on her.
Yeah,
Um, so
go ahead.
we might need a separate episode, but I'll say it now. Um, so when she was on Blue Peter, so
Mhm.
Helen had tap lessons growing up. This is her biography. So she can dance. Um,
Yeah, no, it seems
However, she never did ballroom, right? However, on Blue Peter, one of her tasks once was to compete in the wheelchair championships um, for ballroom dancing and Latin.
was she good?
So this is where someone that's disabled who's in a wheelchair um, and is like partnered like with someone that can is able-bodied, and she entered it thinking that she wasn't gonna like it was, you know how they do those stupid competitions on Blue Peter, not stupid, but like I remember one guy who like went to Hollywood and tried to act and tried to like get a Hollywood part, and he obviously didn't. Do you know
The
what I mean?
challenge,
Because
yeah,
it was
they do like the challenges.
so yeah, exactly. So she competed in it was the beginners class level of the European wheelchair ballroom and Latin dance championships. She
Mm.
won it. She won the dance championships, not just from the TV show. Like it wasn't for a TV. Like like this was an actual competition, and she was not expected to win. Like she was like crying. Watched it today, and
Oh,
so she is like in 2008 she was European dance champion for wheelchair dancing for the beginners level. It wasn't the event, but like what the hell? Like, do you know what I
that's
mean? That
mad.
that
So
was
she's
ballroom
hoping.
and Latin. So when I saw that, that's what tipped it over for Fleur than me because she was a beginner then. So like complete beginner. Like
And that was years ago, so I think what she could do now.
exactly. She also competed on the Strictly Come Dancing Christmas special before. She didn't win, but she did very, very well. Um, and she was like, she has rhythm. She knows how to dance. Um, and also, she's not like so. She's like, you know, whereas Fleur's like obviously had like massive dance training. She hasn't in the same way. Like she did tap. That's very different to ballroom. So I think she's going to be worse than Fleur, but I think she's going to by the end of it be at Fleur's level, and people are going to be like, "Oh my god, like she's grown so much." So that is why
Bit of a
the public
step.
know her, who she is. But when I saw that she actually won the European
That's mental.
Championships.
No, that is mental. No, I get. Oh,
That's why it threw it over to me. Just like I was before I did the research. Fleur was my number one, and she probably will be my favorite. I probably will vote for her. But I just think the public love a journey, and I think Helen's going to start off okay, like perfectly fine,
like
get through the
middle.
first few weeks, and then get on Fleur's level. But I think Fleur's going to be like the top
Yeah,
throughout until like
yeah. She's gonna
the
be like
final couple of weeks.
raking in the nines in week
Yeah,
one.
from like week one. But I think Helen will start off like with sevens or eights, and then get to like. But I think just at the final week she'll get tens, and people are like, well, look where she started, look where Fleur started. People are going to vote Helen.
Yeah,
Um,
she'll do like one of those shock dances that's like
yes,
she's had a really rough week the week before, and then
yes,
she comes out and does like gets
yes.
full tens.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, if you're watching, if you're still watching, it's probably like an hour later, isn't it? This, but if you're still watching, I really recommend you just type in Helen Skelton European Wheelchair Championships, and it was like this Blue Peter segment. She won an award for it. Like she's literally like crazy, 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 crazy.
Crazy good,
Yeah,
crazy. Um, I've got Fleur as my
yeah,
top. I just think she'll be amazing. I think it's definitely between them two, isn't it?
absolutely. I think in the final it's going to be like for dead cert, Kim Marsh, Fleur East, Helen Skelton.
Got a strong
Uh,
female lineup, really.
yeah, and then I think there'll be one. I think it could be Molly, Will, um,
Yeah.
Matt in that 4th place spot, but I think they are gonna be, I think those 3 are definitely gonna be in the final.
Well, on the odd occasion, they have 4 in the final, but it really
Yeah,
depends. They did the year that it really depends if someone has to leave.
yes,
Um, like the first one they did after COVID, when people were like having to drop out left, right, and center,
yeah,
they had 4 in the final.
yeah,
If that happens again this year, I wonder how they'll do all that this year. There's no restrictions now, but I think they'll still like. Last year they did it so they just missed a week, didn't they? If they
yeah,
tested positive, which kind of confuses things a little bit, and it can change things up a little bit because it's like, oh, if that person was in that week, they could have knocked that person out, that kind of thing.
yeah. Because
What I
who
mean?
was it? AJ had to leave last year, right at the end,
Oh, you're gutted, yeah,
and Robert.
yeah.
So
So,
there's only 2 in the final last year, wasn't there? With the COVID, there's only
mm,
2.
what was there? There was, wasn't there? There was only
Yeah,
two.
there's only 2 last year.
Yeah, it really changes it up, doesn't it? This whole.
Yeah, it does, it does. I think the top 2 are gonna be Helen and Fleur for me.
Mm,
I think it could be a battle between them all season,
mm.
which will be really exciting to see.
We've given all our rankings. What an episode!
What an episode.
But before we go, we've got a bit. Well, would you say it's an announcement?
We have said it before.
Yeah,
It's another announcement.
we're not engaged. If
No.
that's what people. Neither of us are engaged.
No one thought that
No,
bad.
we're not pregnant. Nothing like that. But
So I will be going traveling soon for 6 months. So this will be the last podcast episode, for at least 6 months, possibly longer because like when I fly and stuff. So yes, so there won't be any podcast episode, which is so sad. I'm actually getting quite sad now.
I know
Thinking
I'm
about it.
sad. We've had a really good few weeks doing it again because we
We
also.
have like yeah, we wanted to like just give you a few more episodes before we went. So
Yeah,
but when we get back, it'll be I'll be telling you guys all about my experience. I'll be writing bits down to like tell the podcast.
yeah.
So this is definitely not over, but it is a long goodbye.
A very long goodbye. Don't miss us too much.
Yeah. We'll probably, if I give it a rough date, it'll be like April next year.
It'll be April, yeah. It'll be April. But
April, May next year.
we'll have some killer guests.
Yes.
Very good guests. We've got some great ideas, and it will be back and better than ever. So we're not going anywhere. We're just having a little bit of a break, I suppose.
Yeah, and like the stories that we'll have with that time period, more things would have happened to us that we can share with you guys, and
Yeah.
it'll be for the best. It'll be for the best.
Mm. Yeah, who knows? Like April next year seems so long away, doesn't it? Like who knows what
Yeah,
might have happened by April next year.
yeah, literally, so many things could have happened.
Yeah.
But February this year, it's only as far away as February this year,
Mm.
so we've
Which,
actually had longer breaks.
yeah, to be fair, we have. And the last one we took, we didn't really have a reason, did we? Well, we kind of got
No,
busy.
we got busy, but also yeah. So at least we have a reason this time.
They're like, why haven't they done an announcement before? Could we just kind of attend?
But in the meantime, listen to old episodes, watch old episodes, watch the TV Slags. Oh, don't think that's on YouTube. Listen to the TV
Yeah,
Slags podcast. It
it's
was
on
amazing.
Spotify.
It's on Spotify still. Um, yeah, if you're missing your weekly dose.
Weekly dose. Oh, sad times.
Sad times.
Hit the subscribe. I was going to say for weekly episodes, but in 6 months.
In 6 months, there will be weekly, just 6 months time. 6 to 8.
6 to 8. Like, that's not even a full pregnancy.
No, like if you're having sex now, like your child won't be born yet.
Oh,
It's
yeah, because
not that long.
people have sex to our podcast. They really do that.
If you've ever had sex in this podcast, comment below.
Can you imagine if everyone's like, yeah,
Yeah, it really turns me on. I think people like put this on to go sleep, Babs.
oh no, they put it on to brighten their day,
Yeah,
brighten their year. Yeah. So yes,
brand their vagina. We've gone delirious again. Oh, right. Let's sign out.
see you in 6 months.
See you in 6 months. Bye.
Bye.